Hello and welcome back to Tabletop Dubshot, a live-action D&D game with all baristas. I am Renee, your dungeon master, and with me is Bela,
Who plays Val?
PE,
Bucca
and Jordan.
as Pierce.
Last we left off, our group of friends have done a little bit of digging as they investigated the full extent of what the Children of Mercy might be up to, as they realized that there is a couple more like groups that might be involved, a couple more people that might be involved, as they were investigating Kubosh in the cave in the woods that is close to Lenneth Academy. They realized that there was other people that seemed to be almost either peers or even in charge of Kubosh's activities while the conclave was happening. After a little investigating, they heard that part of the reason why Kubosh and the Children of Mercy were there was to retrieve the golden sash. Not really knowing the full extent of what that means or which golden sash specifically, our group of friends decided to do a little stealthing as well as infiltrating the conclave. And at this point, Bucca has, with the help of Darcy, been one of the servers and bartenders. And with Overwatch, Pierce and Val are in the bell tower nearby, watching the heads of each of the households of the great houses of Stakaria make their way in, each one sporting different colors, and two of the households sporting golden sashes, one of them being House Karzari. But inside, there was a small reunion with Bucca and the Four Marshal and the Archforge. But the first dinner and the first night of activities of the conclave seem to be happening. And we will do a little bit more investigating, but that is where we are now. We will cut about an hour or so into the actual dinner itself. At this point in the dinner, most people have found their seats. Again, massive 10-sided table within here. And there's been like chatter, and some of it seems to be a little bit more on the, I guess, polite side, and some of it just seems to be genuine conversations between some of the heads of the household. While you guys are in there, or while you are in there, sorry, Bucca, go ahead and give me either perception or insight. They will kind of garner you slightly different information.
Great. Perception or insight. Probably going to be with perception. 21.
With a 21 perception check, as you are looking around, there's been a few times over the course of this meal where, again, with a background in bartending, you do a good job at making sure that as people's glasses get a little bit lower, you, Darcy, and two other of these servers do make your way in and out of these tables, kind of staying silent, sometimes with a pitcher of water, most of the time with some kind of drink, with a lot of times ale or a wine being filled up. And this conversation's happening with the protectors kind of staying on the outskirts, not quite at the wall where you and the servers have been spending probably about half the time. But you do notice this kind of odd, just bodyguard stare down happening. And as that's happening, most of the protectors seem to have a little bit of like familiarity with the other protectors. Not all of them necessarily, but you do notice, kind of similarly to the way that some of the heads of the household seem some a little bit more comfortable or seem to have a different relationship with others. The same way with the protectors, some a little bit more, it seems like friendly and a little bit more natural body language shows you a little bit more comfortable with some of them. But with a 21, I'll say that one thing you notice is with the Four Marshal, protector for House Karzari, he keeps on looking and staring at the protector with the porcelain mask that you had seen before. And this one seeming to be the most, I don't know if out of place, but it seems to be the most almost rigid looking.
Right. Feeling a little alienated from the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Cool. I picture them standing like behind the chairs of their heads of household, but to everybody standing behind and to the right. So they're all just kind of like rank and file behind
Yes.
their people. Sick.
For my buddies that are outside, at this point, it is a little bit of chill, I think, has entered as you guys are at a point where the actual event has already started and there seems to be like nobody out. You catch the occasional guard of Lenneth making the rounds and patrols, but it seems like this entire area has fully been vacated, which the only time I guess wouldn't even have seen it, but for Val, the only time you've ever kind of experienced something similarly to this is when there's like a huge snowstorm that's either already about to hit or already hit. But you do feel this level of just emptiness within the actual academy itself. Do you guys think you would stay up there or would you guys climb down?
I want to watch the drama unfold, if there's any.
Because we can't see into the
Mm-mm.
right because they're
No.
they're
Oh,
indoors.
dang it.
No, we're indoors. We're outside, so we can like see
Right.
the courtyard and the entrance.
right.
From where we are, can we see multiple entrances? I don't remember if there was only one or
There are two entrances in, so from where you are, you can see. It seems to be on the same side of the building where the war room is, but they're on opposite ends. But there does seem to be the only two entrances that you guys have seen.
And then with the guards that are patrolling for the actual academy, being that it's been like an hour now ish, can I say that over the last hour I've been like clocking how often I see the patrols? More or less, obviously, like we're supposed to be there, but
Yeah.
to see if I can catch an oddity, like if every single 10 minutes the guards walk by and then all of a sudden it's been 15 and I haven't seen the guards.
Go ahead and roll me. Honestly, it's your choice, whatever would be the best for you, either insight, investigation, or perception.
It's going to be investigation. 30-20.
How many did that sound like, guys?
There's a point where usually the patrol, I mean, the academy itself it's pretty large. It's not to the extent that, a massive university or anything like that would be, or like one of like the larger universities in Sullivan. But all things considered, pretty large. And there's like a point where usually every 10 to 12 minutes, a patrol, and it's always two of these guards will usually make their way through in between the building where the bell tower is and the building where the war room is. And then you can kind of see them making their way as they continue heading in front of the building and then just heading west to go investigate other parts of it. There's a point, because you guys are up there, I would say for the first timing it similar to where we are with Bucca in the story. You guys are probably like an hour 10, hour 15. And there's a point at the 55-minute mark where patrol should be stopping by. And then there isn't until maybe another 5 or 6 minutes after. Not incredibly long of a gap, but
Was it the only gap? Like every other patrol seemed like it was within like a minute or so. Maybe I'd have to roll again. I mean, I'm just like thinking of my military background. I feel like I would have also tried to distinguish like how many sets of guards and maybe like differences and how, I mean, obviously I'm looking down on them, so it's going to be kind of hard to get like facial features, but height or races or anything like that.
Go ahead and roll insight for that.
15.
15, delayed group. Something about the way they're the steps. The heights are almost identical. Like the heights, you don't notice a height difference in like this delay, or like when the two guards finally show up. But something about just their actual rhythm
is off.
Just a little bit. Not to the extent that I think you're incredibly bothered, but I think some part of your just military brain is just
kind of ticks. Like almost like that's annoying. Maybe at first I'm just like, come on, like you're on patrol, get in rhythm with each other.
Yeah.
Not so much concern.
Okay. Yeah. And part of it too is, I mean, it is colder. And so I'll say with a 15 insight, you catch it. I'm not going to say that it doesn't necessarily leave your mind, but it's not to the point where you're like, oh, like this is a fully different person. But some part of it is just kind of like get in rhythm, you guys.
Yeah. Val, do you think we should stay up here, or I don't know how long this is supposed to go.
It's getting pretty chilly up here. Did you want to try to sneak in?
No, I think Bucca being in there honestly is plenty. He's as close and closer than we're gonna be able. I mean, we try to sneak in, and we're just gonna have to stay hidden. I don't think we're really gonna hear anything or be able to learn anything. Bucca's all the way, as far as we know, he's gonna be able to get like up close. So he's gonna be able to learn more than we will be able to if we try to do anything more.
I want to stay close, but out of sight. Like, so Bucca can find us and let us know.
Did Bucca know that we
But
came up here? I don't remember.
yes, he did.
I gave you the key.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you know this area better than me. I mean, we do have a good view of the door,
But
but
it's just gonna get colder. And we already know what everyone looks like. There's
True.
no point in staying up here.
I mean, I'm thinking potentially if there was a spot that you know of that could get a wider view of the building,
Like, of the ground floor.
Of the actual like war room, or just
not the like the outside of the
The
building, not
outside
getting
building.
inside, just like the courtyard and the door and
the watchtower is the tallest building on campus, or the bell tower. Sorry, the bell tower.
We're making it a watchtower.
True. I mean, it is cold, but
Would it affect us though if we stay here? Like, are we gonna start taking damage? Because school uniform is warm. No.
I don't think it's that cold.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, but it's not to the point where you feel frostbite, or just the actual cold will start being a factor. Deep into the night, you aren't sure, but at this point, it's about 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, then you know what? Let's see if we can stay here. And I feel like this would be a good time for Pierce and Val to catch up, to like talk about his missed shots with his potential lover. But you know,
As Val starts asking about your potential love interest, we'll cut back into the war room.
Sorry, really fast. I
yes.
do want to say that Pierce specifically watched those two guards that were walking out over them until they made their whatever path the others were taking, until they turned to where I couldn't see them anymore.
Yeah, you watch them for another minute or so, and then even within the bell tower, just with obviously other buildings and stuff, there's a point where they make their way behind one, and you lose track of them, probably for the next 10 minutes or so. We'll come back into the war room. At this point, the 10th spot is currently being used up by the headmaster, who also seems to be having, polite conversation. And I'll say with your earlier role, Bucca, you notice that doesn't seem nervous, but is kind of just making sure that, almost like a good host, trying to make sure that everyone's getting along. And then there is a point where, as conversation is happening, like, he does raise a glass, and using some of the silverware does create just a little ring, like ding 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 sound, to indicate, gather everyone's attention. And there's a point where the headmaster starts to speak up, and he says, "To all of the heads of the household, I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for making your way here. I know that traveling in the snow could always be just a little bit of an annoyance, but Lenneth Academy is so thankful to have you all here for the Conclave of the Nine. But getting to join you all in these festivities with the dinner and drinks with all of you has been nothing but a pleasure. But we just adding on to more of the festivities, we were hoping to add just a little bit of a show." And so you see that he kind of points, and one of the servers that's been there with you see, helps open up one of the doors, or like the only door, and it's a double door, but he opens up one of the doors, and through some kick or hip push or something, there are two people that make their way in, wearing these extravagantly heavy capes, and then they're holding staffs. And there's a point where you notice immediately that all of the protectors' hands reach for their weapons. And there's a point where immediately behind these two, there is a musician, a little bit shorter. He's like a stockier dwarf, has an accordion, and starts playing a very rhythmic little jaunt. And as the two other people in front of him that have the staffs, they literally start doing flips. And it seems like one of them casts a small cantrip of some kind and catches the other person's staff with a little bit of the flame, and immediately the one end catches on fire, and then that person has that end of the staff pointed towards the other one. And at this point, they're like in the middle of the room towards the other one. The other one, at this point, their staff fully unlit, lights one end, and then it seems like they light each other's staffs on fire. And immediately you start noticing just full acrobatics as they are doing a full like flame staff fire breather show with an accordion in the background just randomly. As you're watching it seems the headmaster found almost two different like performers or two groups of performers and just hired both of them, but they seem kind of in some level of a rhythm. And so this show goes on for a little bit, but you could tell that some of the protectors have put their hands away from their weapons, some of them still keeping a hand close by. But the show goes on for another 5 or 6 minutes as some of the heads of the household seem a little bit more entertained. Some of them just seem more annoyed about the disturbance of an accordion suddenly blaring its music and people doing flips while holding fire. And as that finishes up, there is a point where they put out the fires. They do a little bow. There's polite kind of clapping as they finish up their show. And the man with the accordion continues playing, but at a softer, like at a softer volume as he steps forward. At this point, they've all transitioned a little bit more towards the what would be considered the front of the war room, and as the show has been going on. And then the dwarf kind of in a similar cloak, kind of similar clothing that the two fire wielding staff dancers had. But there is like a point where he is starting to tell a couple of like little jaunty tunes, and this goes on for like a little bit. And as this is happening, go ahead and make an insight check.
Insight.
Pierce, that could have been us. We could have snuck
Could've
in
been.
and performed for them.
It could have been y'all. That's gonna be a 10.
A 10. As you're going, I'll say that the only thing you kind of catch with a 10 is the only two people that haven't fully taken their hands from their weapons are the protector with the porcelain mask, as well as the where are you? The guard or the protector of the House Ralmore, which is the one that had black and gold sash. And so that protector dressed similarly. He doesn't have the gold sash, but black armor also has not fully. And you don't know if it's just general distrust at fire performers and bards, but
right.
There just seems to be like a, what are you doing here kind of energy.
I think I'm taking my cue from all the other servers in the room and making sure that I'm staying in line with what they're doing. So I'll follow them throughout the room, like during the performance, standing back a little bit as it's concluding, making our ways back to the table and refilling refreshments, stuff like that. And as I'm passing by the four marshal, I think I kind of linger a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like the four marshals are not the four marshals. The protectors are more spread out from each other than the heads of household are. Cool. I'm going to linger by the four marshal and kind of lean in and say, in case you're wondering, the healing worked for our friend.
No, doesn't say anything, but you could see does like a small nod.
I want to thank you and the Archforge greatly for your help. And I do have some troublesome news if you wanted to find some time to talk to me about it. I know this is kind of a big deal. I look around and see all the all the fire dancers, and then the accordion kind of just died down a little bit. And as everybody's clapping, this looks like a lot of fun. I am a little worried for the Conclave.
As you say that, he's like, what do you mean?
We have it on good account that I think a member of the Conclave might be in trouble, and I don't want to draw alarm right now, but I think whoever wields a golden sash could be a target. Is there an attack tonight? I look around and I make kind of head nods towards all the protectors and say, I don't think tonight is their plan. You could very well kick all of their asses, and with all these protectors here, would be really easy to do. So I think tonight is safe. We can enjoy it for now, and Bucca starts spiraling, unless the protectors are in on it, and the other houses maybe. I actually don't know anymore.
What?
Right.
As you say that, now you see his panic level start to go up as well. You're like, the other protectors are in on it.
I don't know. I don't know. We didn't see all the voices. We didn't see any other faces. We just heard they were going after the sash, and I'm looking at all the other.
His hand starts to go to his weapon. You notice like one or two of the other protectors' hands also start to. They're like as they're looking at you, and then eyes back towards Fore Marshal, and then you, and just
please don't be worried right now. I think Val and Pierce are keeping a lookout from the outside, and if something were to happen, at least we won't be caught by surprise.
Okay. And you see saying that there are people like out there doesn't seem to, I don't think, fully relieve him of any stress that you might have caused in this moment, but you could tell
he doesn't have a relaxed day at all. He was strung. He was evenly strung, and now he's high strung.
You see that he goes into his pocket, pulls out like a little thing of Tums, and just
Tums exist in this universe.
I pull out my flask of Pepto-Bismol just in case.
These are all going to get beeped. But you see that his panic level goes down, I think, to a more manageable level, as he's not expecting an immediate attack at that point. And just as we can speak about this more, maybe after the dinner.
I would very much appreciate that. For now, I think I'm actually really enjoying serving people again. I don't know if you know this, but this was kind of my job.
Okay, we can't. Okay.
Okay. Oh, sir. And I bow.
As he shushes you away after you're trying to have a whole conversation about your bartending background, there's like a point where the dwarf kind of, handsome dwarf, pretty well kept beard, a little bit shorter than some of the other like dwarven beards, like even the one that Hecken would keep. Even like you notice that his eyebrows are a little bit more well groomed.
Stop describing me, bro. Really.
Incredibly just hot and just charismatic. There's a point where he finishes up one of the tunes and just says, well, as we finish up the evening, is there any suggestions from the crowd, any songs or tales that you would wish to hear? And at this point, the head of house, Ralmore, the one that's been in black and gold, they speak up a little bit and just say, do you know the one of the Three Kings? Oh, my good sir. The tale of the Three Kings and the judge, of course. As he is about to begin the tale, go ahead and roll me a history check. And go ahead and do it with advantage.
I'm gonna need it.
You got this.
I'll say history, or performance.
Ooh. Okay.
Because not you performing, but this is like it would be like a popular tale, but
perfect with advantage.
With advantage.
First roll 16. Second roll performance 23.
Ooh.
With that roll, there is an old story that comes up every now and then. A lot of times you'll hear people by the fireside or in taverns and bars. It's just part of people's repertoires. But it's the tale of the Wandering Judge and the Three Kings. And so it talks about like a cloaked figure with no name, no banner, and no mercy. And they say that it happened during the Red Harvest, which is from the time of war, that from 50, 60 years ago, so way before any of you guys were alive. But they say that this is a story that happened, it's been retold many, many times. It took place during the Red Harvest when three petty kings claimed dominion over the same valley. And this is a Stakarian tale. It's a Stakarian story. But as many popular stories, they tend to kind of make their way out and about. All three petty kings claimed dominion over the same valley in Stakaria. And then each one had letters and bloodlines and blades to justify their war, but none would yield. And so they gathered armies and they all marched on the valley. And so the night before this big battle takes place, there is like the story of like a stranger that came and kind of helped with the dispute. And so you see that this bard starts telling the story of the story. And he's like, the night before battle, a stranger came to the river that marked their disputed border. He bore no armor, but the sword on his back shimmered like it had tasted centuries. His eyes were too old, too sharp, and never blinked at the cold. He wore a judge's scale on a chain around his neck, broken in the middle, but polished, as if still honored. He stood between the armies and called out, 3 kings, 3 truths, each one wrong, but each one right enough to kill for it. The king sent messengers, then champions, and then threats. The man did not move. In the morning, only 2 armies remained. The 3rd king, his tent torn asunder, his crown melted to slag, was found kneeling upright, stone cold dead. No wound, no mark, just a look of regret carved into his face. The remaining kings hesitated. And that night, the stranger entered the 2nd camp. He offered the king a deal. Walk away and rule no one. The king refused, citing divine right and vengeance. By dawn, the camp was gone. Nothing left but a circle of blackened earth where fire burned, and nothing will grow to this day. When the last king arrived, expecting victory, he found only the man at the river. The king dropped his sword and said, "Judge me." The cloaked figure raised one hand. "You've judged yourself. That's enough." He left the king to rule a valley of ghosts and salted fields. And some say the wandering judge walks still, showing up when pride runs thicker than truth, when justice is just a word shouted before war. No one knows what he is, a cursed prince, maybe the shadow of a god, maybe a ghost from the first war. But all know this: he never stays, he never speaks twice, and he never comes when he's wanted, only when he's needed. And then there's this polite clapping that happens. And with that, the bard does like a deep vow, and they start to excuse themselves as he says, just thank you so much, everybody, for your time. And at this point, as they're making their way out, the head of House Karzari, the Archforge himself, stands up and says, Grand Marshal, talking to the head of the household that asked for the story, what a wonderful way to honestly get the events of the Conclave started. The story of the Wandering Judge is part of the reason why us as households exist today. A ruling force here in Stakaria where judgment and decisions can be made for the betterment of our people without necessarily having to respond to just one person that controls the valley, right? And and then gives him like a little polite clap of a great way to get this started. And I think with that, looks over at the headmaster. I don't know if there's any more events planned for this evening, but I would say that this probably will be the end of this will conclude tonight's festivities and events. And then so tomorrow we will start bright and early, but everyone be warned and prepared that this is all, of course, the Conclave, and looks over at the headmaster. And we thank you for hosting us for the Conclave. But as always, this will be between the night houses. And so I think with everyone, please finish up your drinks. Please thank the headmaster for hosting and for housing us. And I think with that, I will turn in for the evening. I'm gonna be honest, I drink a lot. Really tired. So, and there's kind of some polite laughing and some other just stone cold just faces looking at him. And so I'm ready for some sleep. So with that, I will see everybody in the morning. Headmaster, I will not see you in the morning, but good night. And he kind of just walks away as the Four Marshal is behind him. And while this was happening, before, like, as all the attention was drawn, there is a point where the Four Marshal does catch your eye as the Archforge is giving this I'm going to go to bed speech. Mm-hmm. And then he motions outside, and you see him mouth the words after. And then
I nod in agreement.
And so, and as that speech is finished, Archforge makes his way. The Four Marshal falls behind him, and some of the other heads of household stand up. Some of them stay sitting and are finishing some drinks, seem to be deep in conversation, but the room starts to clear out a little bit. Do you think you would stay there, or do you think you would immediately follow out?
I think I'm going to initially follow the guidance of my fellow servers. It looks like they're making the rounds and starting to clean up the table and take things away. And I'll make one trip back to the kitchen and then kind of slide out one of the doors around the building towards where I saw the Archforge and the Four Marshal heading.
I think with that, you people on my lovely bell tower, you guys start to see the first people to make their way out is the Archforge and the Four Marshal. And you can tell there's like a point where actually I'll roll a perception check. Oh, cool. As they make their way out, the Archforge being the first one out, the Four Marshal immediately, as soon as he steps out, starts looking around. And then with a 14 plus what he adds to it, he eventually his eyes drift up and he sees both of you at the top of the bell tower. And then he makes a commotion with his head towards the actual entrance of the academy.
Understood.
That looks like Bucca was able to at least get a word in. So
You know what? Whatever he does, at least I trust him. He did it.
They begin slowly walking, which gives you guys a chance to make your way down. And I think as you make your way down the bell tower, make your way outside, I think at this point, you see Bucca with a tray of empty flutes and empty glasses walking in the same general direction where you guys are as you were headed to the kitchen. But you guys can now reunite.
Hey guys.
Okay, you didn't bring us anything back.
Yeah, so I lean in real close. They all drank everything. They're wasted right now.
It cuts over to all of like the glasses and drinks that there were, and everything is either empty or like only has like a third of the actual like alcohol in there left.
It's just backwash at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, I can go get some of that if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, great. And I realized I took the tray with empty glasses outside of the kitchen, and I quickly just put it down on a barrel. I just set it down.
I'll say close to where the actual war room is. There are some just like standing barrels there, and you just okay, bye.
I put it down and say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Darcy. Please don't fire me. And I start walking out towards where I saw the Archforge and the Four Marshal leave. I was able to talk to the Four Marshal. He almost started fighting all the other protectors because I might have said that they could have attacked tonight, even though we decided that they weren't going to. But then I started spiraling, and the person with the mask was there. The porcelain mask was there. I couldn't see their face, and during the performance, right, they were juggling fire and there's an accordion, and I don't know how they made that work, but the person in the mask, right,
they made it work.
Exactly. They didn't relax the entire time. It felt like they were on edge.
You did spiral in front of him.
No, well, he wasn't. I don't think he was looking at me.
The porcelain mask or the Four Marshal? Yes.
No, the porcelain mask.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. The Four Marshal, I completely understand. Yeah, I spiraled. That's my bad. I probably should have held it together a little bit more, but he is concerned enough to want to meet, which I think was the goal, right?
He spotted us on his way out and like nodded for us to meet them. So,
right.
I'm assuming this conversation is happening as you guys are walking.
Yeah, as we're walking.
Yes, we are walking in the snow.
I'm letting the crunch of the snow cover our conversation.
Yeah, you guys make your way towards away from a lot of the buildings of Lenneth Academy, which is obviously opposite also of where a lot of the heads of household and the protectors would end up walking towards, as soon as when they're exiting out.
Ask if we were like out of sight.
Yeah, and so there is like a point where you guys continue forward, and you guys are able to track the footsteps of the Archforge and the Four Marshal as you guys make your way through. And there's like a point where after you walk probably for about like 10 minutes, a lot like further away from campus, and not heavily, but there is this, since you guys were headed towards or are headed towards the entrance of the actual academy, there is this long path that leads in from what would be, I guess, the rest of Stakaria, making their way in. And so there is like a long path of large trees. And so there is a point where as you're following it, you notice after the first couple of series of trees that you do notice the tracks start to veer a little bit to the right. And then you see behind this, and again, all these trees are beautiful. They're ornate. They're all very well manicured and well kept, even in this colder weather. But standing behind the tree, this like larger like oak tree, you do see the Archforge and the Four Marshal. And they see you guys, and just the Archforge is like, "Oh, my friends, what news do you have? I've received some incredibly disturbing news that the protectors are attempting to murder us all."
Wait, out of game, can
Yeah.
we like roll how drunk he is?
Go ahead and roll insight.
Oh, we're in game. Let's go.
I got a 15.
15.
I rolled an 8.
I'm not rolling. I saw him drinking.
He looks stone cold sober right now.
What? That's crazy.
Bucca, you're like, you had so many drinks. You had so many
I
drinks.
think back to the empty glasses. At least 20% of them were his, and there's 9 different people drinking the entire night.
Yeah, and part of it too. I mean, he's a bigger man, so maybe he's metabolizing it, the alcohol, just a little bit differently. But
he's also already been really friendly, so it wouldn't be odd to us that he's friendly. Okay.
Yeah, you guys are like,
I know how drunk he is, though.
Right.
He deserves a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bucca knows how good of a time he had. But so the Four Marshal let me know that the protectors are plotting against us.
That is just one working theory. I don't think
okay.
that's what's actually going to happen.
Just to clarify.
Was this during the spiral?
Protectors, yeah. Protectors being involved was never part of the theory.
Yeah,
of any theory.
Because we didn't discuss it, that makes me feel like we didn't even think about the possibility. And what if we didn't see all the faces in the cave? Like what if one of them was a protector, right?
I see your point, but it is an unlikely possibility. And I look over at the Four Marshal, like, right? That's unlikely.
This is the first time hearing about it, but it seems unlikely.
I think we should just start with just some of the general information that we do know. And
is your friend the one that had the whisper rot? Is he doing better?
Yes, Dad is doing so much better. Almost, we'll say like 95%.
Wonderful. Okay. And then hits him on the side a little bit. Well done, Doran. Well done. Thank you. You're
right.
Your praise means everything.
I would like to perceive if he's crying.
No.
He has a praise
you don't have to perceive, just one tear.
It's a praise.
I start crying because he's crying.
You see just like a small like face just like, yes.
I'm so proud of my friends for being recognized for their talents.
Well, wonderful news to hear. Hopefully we'll get him to 100% sooner rather than later. But please, it is really cold out here. I'm going to be honest. But so I would love to get inside soon. But I would love to hear how these working theories came to be. So please enlighten me.
First, some people that we know are involved. A guy named Kubash, which probably means nothing, but groups that are involved would be Children of Mercy, if you've ever heard of them, and the Crystal Talons, potentially. The Crystal Talons being involved is not confirmed, but we are a little bit confused on some connections that Kubash, someone who we know to have been, we thought, part of the Crystal Talons.
We don't know him.
We interacted and crossed paths with him.
He's not our friend.
No. And he was with the Crystal Talons at the time. And now we're crossing paths with him again, and he seems to be some kind of leader in this group called the Children of Mercy. So I don't know if they're both involved in this plot.
This Kubash fella that you speak about, I don't know who that is. But Children of Mercy, I mean, I think they're like a roving, at the Four Marshal, like some kind of group. I know they've attacked some of the towns and villages and some of the other parts of Stakaria, but I mean, the northern lands. Or sorry, let me retract that. I know the Heartlands be a wild ground for a lot. And then Val, you would know this would be actually it's kind of like a local term. So I don't know if Bucca or Pierce necessarily would know, but the Heartlands just being what would be a lot of like the northern region. A lot of it is more tribes of people. It's more like there are like cities and things like that, but there are huge like expanses where I guess similar to like the Canadian wilderness, there is just a lot of land. Dakaria is just a lot of the cities are in towns a little bit more closely knit together, but you do have smaller towns and villages and tribes that do make up what the Heartlands is. And he's like, so I believe they've attacked some of the towns over in the Heartlands, but they've been pretty benign as far as I've been led to believe.
Oh, so they have made their way to this continent. Yeah,
Are they not
They are
from?
no. So I was previously in the military, and I had not necessarily come face to face with them, but heard the name and saw aftermath. They were a little bit more of a mercenary group in the Far East, and as at the time, were not a group that could cross continent. Not organized, didn't have the funds, financially
Oh,
not stable. So the fact that they're here at all is, I mean, I guess concerning. They weren't really an organized group, and they've seemed to become that.
oh, this is news to me. Yeah, no, I assumed they were some group from the Heartlands, but this is interesting information. I might have to confer with some of our other heads of houses. I mean, I know this was already on the docket of conversations as far as just safety for the Heartlands, and so I think this will be interesting news for at least for myself. But we aren't necessarily a part of the Heartlands here within Lenneth and where House Karzari rules. But as far as the Crystal Talons, how do you think they're involved?
Well, like I was saying, I think Kubash, the first time we met him, crossed paths with him, he was with a woman who is part of the Crystal Talons. And I think at the time just kind of made the assumption that both of them were part of that group. And now, see, Kubash doesn't know that we saw him, but we saw Kubash. And he's now like some kind of leader for a group of Children of Mercy. So I think when we crossed paths with him before, potentially Children of Mercy had been contracted as a mercenary group by the Crystal Talons. And now they're, being contracted by someone else. All I know is they are here in the area.
In a cave.
Just off campus.
Yes.
This is okay. As you say this, that like they're close. Would you all be able to point on a map where they are?
Yeah.
I just look at Val.
I know where I am.
Looks over at the Four Marshal, and the Four Marshal's like, it'll be done tonight.
What'll be done tonight?
Making sure the cave is clear.
By yourself?
Well, this is the Archforge speaking, and then the Four Marshal he speaks up a little and just says, "We have contacts here that can assist." So,
I will say, as far as their goal, really the only information that we have is that, and I don't know if Bucca had shared any of this, that they were after the gold sash.
You see, he goes to clutch. He's like, not my golden sash.
Which, when we were watching, like, kind of having the overwatch over the war room when everybody was entering and leaving, yours and it seemed one other was wearing one, but I don't know if the sash is just like to show the position you're in, or if it has some kind of significance in value or power.
Is there another one?
Or if there's a gold sash that you guys can think of that someone would like specifically want to steal. That's all we know as far as what they might be after.
He looks, he's like, well, I mean, I know myself and House Dralmor, we have golden sashes. I have like 11 of these. So, I mean, the sash itself doesn't speak to my position. I mean, they can have it if it'll get them out of here. I'll just give them this. But I have a feeling that it doesn't seem like it's what they're after. I don't know what they could be looking for, but
Is golden sash like a code word for an individual? Or do you think it's more of an item? I hope they're not going to kidnap you.
I probably not either. And then the Four Marshal speaks up a little bit, like, that would never happen.
True.
Dorian, I know. It's okay.
I nod as I'm looking at the Four Marshal as he's crying a little bit still, and I'm also
one other team from the other eye.
Right. That would never happen.
No, I don't think. And so, I mean, did they say that they were looking for a golden sash, the golden sash, person with the golden sash?
They
just said stash.
Oh no, I mean, I just got this sash like a few days ago, made for the event. So,
is it worth what they
dear.
would?
My dear, everything I own is
no, but worth bringing out such an awful mercenary group.
I think
to hear
the risk of taking your golden sash would need to be outweighed by the value of your sash. Do you think? And I'm not saying that it's not worth a lot, right? I'm not saying that. I'm asking, do you think the value of your golden sash is worth potentially getting caught by? And I pat the Four Marshal on the shoulder, by our guy right here.
Can I roll for how much the sash is worth if I know?
Go ahead and roll whatever roll you feel like would be appropriate.
I want to perceive how much. I don't really. I got a 12, so I don't know how much to perceive.
Even with a 12, that's. I mean, it's a nice. You could tell it's inlaid with actual, like, as you're looking at it. Obviously, it's nighttime, but even with like the dim lighting, you could tell that it's inlaid with like actual, like, not the entirety is gold, but it's inlaid with actual, like, thinly beaten, like, strands of gold.
Mm-hmm. Rumpelstiltskin.
So as far as like red, as far as like actual monetary, I don't know if you could give me like, this is exactly what it's worth on the market, but you're like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. But as you're also looking at some of the other things he has, some of the rings he has and are genuinely inlaid also with gold and precious stones. And so it's not like the sash is the only thing that he has that's worth currency.
I feel like the sash isn't worth as much as like the jewelry he has on. Would that be correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like, to be fair, I don't know if this specific sash is going to be worth their time and effort when just one pinky alone is worth like 3 times that,
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Do we think the Realmors are also a similar case of having multiple golden sashes? In which case, Val, how does one attain multiple golden sashes?
Money.
Right.
You just become a head of a household. But I think
easy.
I mean, House Realmore. I mean, if we're being honest here, they probably have less golden sashes than myself, but they're a little bit more practical. Wonderful people. The Grand Marshal's great. He's great. But again, same thing. I mean, these are just decorative. For us, this is no different than the shoes on our feet or the shirt on our back, as they say. But I
is
so.
This is entering kind of sensitive territory, I think, because I don't want to learn things that I shouldn't know.
Okay.
Right. The less I know about what the Conclave is actually doing, the better I feel. Right. And I look at Pierce and Val and I'm nodding like, we don't want to know. We don't really want to know what's going on with the Conclave.
No.
But if we're going to go ahead and assume that the clothing of a golden sash is not worth the time or the risk, can we assume that the golden sash is now a person, like Val was asking? And if we were to follow that rabbit hole, may I ask, is anything of import being held up by either yourself or the Ralmore family? Is there any decisions to be made, any conversations to be had that are pivotal for the nation that rest on your shoulders alone, or maybe the Ralmore family shoulders alone?
No, I don't. I mean, we have a couple of things to discuss, but I don't think there's any conversations that are unique to the positions of myself or the Ralmores. There's not really anything that we'll be like, voting on or weighing in on as far as our two houses.
Great. Okay. Last thing. Are any of the sashes magical? Okay. Well, I'm just glad that the pyre's not here, because then we wouldn't know what we
Why
need
are
to do.
you bringing up the pyre?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Who? I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know of the Pyre?
Do you know of the pyre?
Yes, they've been traveling a lot on the countryside. Something about the evils of magic and how it'll bring the destruction of Solivand as we know it.
Right. Yeah, we met a couple of people.
We met extremists, and we met very nice preacher man. He was cool.
Sounds like
wouldn't
here
harm
it's
a
mostly
fly.
been nice preacher men.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really spoken to them. I mean, people are free to speak whatever they would like to speak, as long as violence isn't enacted on any of the people here.
They enacted violence on us, so
When? Where?
At the coronation, the attack on the queen. I don't know if you guys heard about.
Yes.
That-
Were you all participants
fire.
in
yeah, we were working the event.
We were
trying
at
to
the
roll a
event.
deception check?
Why is it always a deception check?
Because
you're
you
lying.
be lying, man.
I just don't want them to know. I got a 15 plus 0 of deception.
As soon as Bucca makes a friend, he stops lying fully. You know what I mean?
I just don't like people knowing me.
I mean, this
That's true.
solidifies the fact that she's the least trusting of the
Yeah.
three of us.
The Archforge just says, "Wonderful. Always,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are very entrepreneurial. I respect that." The Four Marshal is doesn't say anything. He just looks at you.
I look
Just
back at
Val.
him.
She looks at Val.
It's just me.
I look at Val. I look at the Four Marshal. I look back at Val. So, right. So the pyre. Okay. So here's why I think maybe they might be connected. Another thing we never really talked about, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you all right now. The pyre attacked during the coronation, right? That was crazy. And then for reasons that aren't super important, I am employed by somebody who has multiple warehouses, and one of them had magical items in it. The pyre burned that warehouse to the ground, right? Exactly.
Where?
Exactly, right? Back home. Literally like 2 days after the coronation.
You are not citizens of Sekaria.
No,
No.
Val goes to school here.
I go to
Mhm.
school here.
Oh, I thought you were all students here.
I did not have
What?
any warm clothes.
I needed
Yeah,
protection.
and I'm not actually in a uniform. Not in a school uniform.
And
just
these
for
are my
the
best
record.
friends. And my parents sent them with me. So,
You lied to me.
what do you mean?
It's okay. You see, like one, like his ear, like one tear just starts to. He's like, "It's okay. We all have our secrets that we must keep."
Let me be 100% truthful at this time. I am a student. I brought my two best friends here because my father figure, my dad, not my actual dad, but my father figure, I got a message that he was hurt. So I needed all the support that I can get emotionally. And also, I need better decisions in my life. So they came with me. I'm the student. These are my friends.
He puts like his massive hand on your shoulder and just says, "I appreciate the honesty, but it seems like we have slightly bigger things on our plate that we must address."
Can I finish my story now?
Yes, of course.
Right. So sorry. I know. Right. We went through. Okay. So we found out the pyre attacked at the coronation, and then we found out that they were burning down this warehouse. Right. That I happened to be employed by who owns it, and it has a bunch of magical items in there. We fight him off. We save one of the workers, and he was our friend. He's fine now. His leg is perfectly okay. And then we're
We were
confronted.
gonna cut it off.
We were gonna cut it off, but we didn't.
You.
Yeah, I couldn't lift the pillar. We tried a couple times, right? We tried our best, and then we did. Through the power of teamwork, we were able to lift the pillar off of his leg. We stumbled out of the warehouse, still burning down. Right, couldn't save the warehouse at all. And then we disposed of those people in not a very living way. They're dead now. But we were confronted by 2 other agents of, we didn't know this at the time, the Crystal Talon, who then came in and stole all the magical items from the warehouse. And that's why, in conclusion, I think that there might be some connection between the 2. And I bow.
I hope the visual is that guy holding his hand to like a whiteboard with all the strings attached, and Bucca looks like, ugh.
And this whole time, Pierce is just shaking his head, scratching his head, like, oh my god, this is so much more information than we needed to share.
That's what you missed on the last 25, I don't know where we got, episodes of Tabletop Dub Shot.
Well, it seems like a lot.
Right.
Okay. So the pirates trying to destroy magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the Crystal Talons came in and stole the items and then destroyed the items. And then they...
Well, I don't know if they destroyed them.
I think they stole them. But
Okay.
Right. We don't know where those items went. I think they might be in the cave. I don't know why. But I think it's just because I saw Kubash and I just have that hunch, that maybe they brought it with them.
Looks over at the Foreign Marshal. I mean, we'll do a little investigating tonight. So
awesome. Do you need help? Want?
I would say that maybe now that this is involving one of the heads of the House Karzari, I think will oversee this. But if you're going to be around campus in the next day or so, I think I could fill you in on probably what we saw.
Okay.
But I think it'd probably be best.
Her dad's house.
I'm assuming it's nearby enough.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then maybe we can... and you see that going through, he has kind of like a small, it's not even a full pack, but it genuinely is almost like a fanny pack, but it is like strapped to his back. And it seems that you hear some clinking as he goes, but he does pull 2 scrolls, and one of them is a full map of Stakaria, and then one of them is specifically the region of House Karzari. And so it is definitely a lot larger than the area that you guys are in. But Val, I'll say that you obviously know the area well enough that you can show where the cave is. And then if you would want to, you can also mark where Thel lives. So
okay. So this is where we are, by the bell tower. Actually, no, where were you? By the exit of...
Literally, it's just Lenneth. Like you know where Lenneth is, like on the map. Like it's not zoomed in enough that the clock tower's there.
Okay, so this is Lenneth. I assume we're a little bit more this way. And then in like this forest area over here, that's where Dad is. And thank you for saving him. That's where he lives. That's probably where you'll find us. And then a little bit more this way, point a little bit, and then there's this mountain area, and there's a cave that has about 3 vents that their fires vent out of. So you can listen to things where we got our information here, and here. And if you send over here, they can't see you. So yeah.
Wonderful. Rolls it up and looks at the Archforge. Just says, it'll be done. Okay. Well, I appreciate the investigation that you guys have done so far. You've given me a lot to think about and a lot to figure out. But I think having the Children of Mercy this close by, and then being a little bit, more organized. It seems like there's more to there than we initially thought or knew, but we will figure this out tonight, and I think we should conclude for the evening. I'm very tired, and the alcohol is definitely kicking in. And so my only warning, take it if you will, I would probably steer clear of the Crystal Talons if I were you.
Right. I think we have no problem doing that.
Yeah. They're not a that should be trifled with. Unneedingly or uncaring.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna go now. But you're all great.
I bow.
And he starts to walk away. And there's like a point where as he's walking, he's just kind
starting
of
to
stumbling a little
That's where the drinks went.
I'm still bowing. We couldn't tell he was drunk because he was leaning against the tree the whole time for stability. Mm-hmm.
Since Bucca's still bowing, I'm gonna
Is
hit him
the
on the
floor
back
mosh?
and look at Val and be like, "Can we go to Fells?"
Oh, you don't want to go to my dorm and see our lovely friend Merelda?
No.
I love when my friends hate the people that I hate.
You guys start making your way back to Thel's cabin. Where you guys are, obviously, you're on the fully opposite side. So you are able to. Well, actually, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys think you would go through the academy, or do you guys would go like an outside route?
We are not going through the academy with the people rounding.
Cool.
Yeah, probably
Right.
around.
Yeah.
Cool. You make your way out the entirety of Lenneth Academy to the right side of you as you guys trek through. At this point, it's probably around like 10:30 at night as you guys finally make your way through the woods and you see Thel's cabin. The only thing really is on the actual window sill inside of the cabin itself. You just see like a small little candle that is lit. But beyond that, the actual like cabin itself is dark, but it's also late at night. Cool. You guys walk in, just heavy snoring in the corner.
Thank God he's still here. Oh, I was like, I hope he's still here.
I think Bucca starts making his way towards the living area. Is there a couch? There is a couch. That's where we slept before, right?
You
Do
slept on
you
the
guys
ground.
want the
I slept on the ground. Right.
Do you guys want the cot? You guys can share the cot. I can sleep on the ground.
Bucca plops on the ground, is already asleep.
And then the bedding from the night before is still there. So
rolls up burrito styles in the bedding on the floor.
Before I lay down,
feel
can
like-
I glance over at the kitchen and see if there's any food that was left out?
Oh my God.
you don't see any food.
Do you want something? I see him making eye contact with the kitchen. Like I can cook something up. I've learned a few things from Darcy.
I mean, I don't need like something fully, just something.
I
like,
mean, we didn't eat dinner because we were watching them eat
snack on.
dinner. Well,
yeah. I
You
just wanted
hear-
a little snack
hear-
before I lay down.
Bucca mumbles in his sleep. Hot salad. Hot salad.
Yeah. And then as you guys are having this conversation, again, the cabin is just it's a one room thing. It's not like there's
that.
Yeah. So
I'll make something real quick.
she prepares some food. You guys do anything else you guys would like to do for this evening?
Can we look at Thel and see how well he is resting and his general state?
It's kind of hard to gauge because at this point there is like a blanket over him, and I mean he's sleeping, so it's not like you have access to like obviously like his wounds and stuff from before. But I mean the snores sound good, so I mean it seems like he's just asleep, just how you would catch him randomly just knocked out.
Breathing is unlabored, and rise and fall is noted.
But yeah, it seems like he's doing okay, doing a lot better.
Love that.
Very cool. You guys get some rest. I don't know if anybody used any spells or anything, but we will take
I
a long
did.
rest. Go ahead and mark a long rest.
Yeah.
The next morning, you guys awaken early to just a quick like little rapping on the door as someone is knocking.
Bucca shoots up.
It's not even the sun's not even up.
It's like the sky, like you can even tell because there are some windows. The sky is like it's barely about to be dawn. It's early.
Bucca shoots up. Oh no, are we late? And looks around and realizes
For what?
we are just in the cabin. Oh, sorry.
Who could get the door?
Hello? Who is it? Yeah. Hi.
Is it possible to see like the porch from like a side window or something? No windows on the door. People.
Not on the door.
Kind of walk over. I look at Pierce. Is Pierce awake? Who am I kidding? Is Pierce back from his run yet?
I'll say it was early enough where this would probably be around the time that
there.
like Pierce would be waking up.
Okay, great.
Okay.
He's tying his running shoes. Look at Pierce. Okay. And I give him a nod like he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'll stand up and just like stand wherever the door would open, like to the side on that side.
Okay.
Well, I like wait for Bucca to open it.
I open the door.
You see the floor marshal,
Right.
and just says, "It is good morning. It's imperative that we speak."
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Yes, of course. I look around. Val is stirring awake. Is Thel awake?
Thel woke up a little. He's still like in bed,
Mhm.
but you could tell obviously the knocking
Right.
on the door woke him up. But you two are the only ones that are currently like physically out of bed.
Right. Okay. Should we talk inside or is outside okay? That Thel is
Inside. You guys are being too much.
okay. I've never. I look at Pierce. I've never really had roommates, so I don't know. And I open the door all the way.
Yeah, he walks inside and just says, "I apologize for the intrusion early this morning.
No worries.
Fine.
We have news of the cave that you guys mentioned.
Right.
I'm awake now.
We found no one.
Hmm?
No one was in the cave. It seemed to be like someone had been there.
Okay.
We found signs that people had been staying there, like a large group. We still found some articles of clothing. It was vacant of people. It was empty of people, but not of their stuff. But it seems that, I mean, from the size that you mentioned that you saw, we would have expected to see a little bit more stuff. So it seems that they grabbed a lot of the supplies and
moved.
Did you go alone or with the group?
We took a few guards and a few of the contacts we have in the area, but
Of course. And did a few of those guards stay with the Archforge?
the Archforge is back.
Oh, he went with you. Okay.
He's back at the academy.
Yeah. Okay, great. Whew.
Real quick, how long would it have been between when we were there listening in on the conversations at the cave and last night when they would have gone and checked it out?
Probably about 12 to 14 hours.
Okay.
It seems like they rushed in cleaning up. So, I mean,
were there any tracks that could lead to where they were going?
We followed the tracks and it led deeper into the woods, and then we lost them.
Right. Away from the campus?
Away from campus, yes.
Okay. So maybe they weren't after the golden sash here. Could there be a golden sash somewhere else?
I mean, we don't even necessarily know what that means, but there's just no way that it was a coincidence that they were so close to the academy during the conclave.
Have we checked in on House Ramor yet?
We have not spoken to them, but we made sure we did a sweep of the academy, and there was no tracks of any kind that led in. So,
okay.
I mean, just like from what I know of Children of Mercy versus what you guys have learned about them, I personally wouldn't be surprised if they've either just come under new like leadership and they're organized enough to know that a big group like that in an area that they're not supposed to be, that they just shouldn't stay in one place for too long. Obviously you came to fill us in, but are you guys maybe wanting help possibly from Val, who might know the area a little bit better, to try and track them?
Maybe, but I think us wandering the woods puts us in a more precarious position. And so if, like you mentioned, them being this close on the eve of the conclave is no coincidence. In my line of work, coincidences don't exist.
Right.
And so, but I think it's easier to fortify ourselves in a location than it is to be wandering.
Right. I was gonna say maybe just, extra guards and or just protection on campus for now.
Yes, yeah, we've already announced to the academy to do a little bit more rounds, and some of my contacts have been patrolling more of the outer, right outside of the academy, more in the woods. But I felt it was important for you guys to know that, and also, I think I might know. I fear the Archforge might be the target.
Is this a fear that you have that the Archforge might not be aware of?
I think he is aware.
Let's see.
Why do you think he's the target?
And at this point, Thel's like in, like just is like up in bed, but his back is kind of against the wall. just like looking as this is happening. And he, as Four Marshal sees him and says, I'm assuming we're all amongst company that I can.
Yeah, you helped me save him, actually.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
actually with us when we were sneaking around on the group in the cave.
As this, Thel speaks up and just says, is this the guy that was helping out?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is the Four Marshal for the Archmage.
Oh, this is the guy that helped out.
Archforge.
Looks over him.
Archforge, right.
Thanks.
Sorry. I bow.
And then the Four Marshal looks at him. He's like, you're welcome. And then they just do like an old man nod and just says, if I'm being fully honest, I think this, if they're looking for a golden sash, or you said the golden sash, I think the reason why the Archforge might be the actual target is because of the djinn.
What's the
The
djinn?
djinn?
I think there's a lot to share. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
He's really good with coconut.
Talking about
Perfect.
djinn as a whole.
Djinn as a whole.
Wonderful. Very cool, my friends. Anything we would like to share with the world? I think for me, everybody that's listening, thank you for listening so much as we are wrapping up chapter 1 of our Tales in Sollivant. And so please, if you've listened, please leave a review. Tell your friends, share, and post to us. But anybody else got anything?
Follow us on TikTok. I'm going to be memeing.
I mean, just appreciation and shout out to anybody that's like caught up. Because if you're listening to this episode, I think it'll be a week or 2 or 3 before this one gets posted.
Wait.
Question mark?
I'm going to call out Gio because he is not caught up and I'm so disappointed in him.
Gio, when you finally listen to this, I just know that the beauty of audio on the internet is that it'll be here just waiting for you.
And it lives forever, bro. You're going to be called out forever. Hey,
Mwah.
I still love you. Don't worry. We've never met, but I appreciate you, dog.
I miss you over FaceTime.
Come on. Shout out FaceTime. Bringing people together. You know what I mean?
But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it because, I mean, whether or not you guys listen, we're having a good time, which is why this is so much fun for us.
Even if you aren't listening, we're having so much fun and you're not here. But if you are listening, then you're having fun with us.
Right. And if you couldn't see, Bela has a bottle of tequila by her desk. Ooh.
That's never changed. I have been that person since the original.
And that's canon.
And since birth.
Exactly.
And an unbranded name of boxed alcoholic beverage that is so yummy, and that should be replaced with every body of water.
Cue the music.
Oh my God.